Using digital backgrounds makes you look like a clown. We see it all the time. Leaders too lazy to clean up their space or too insecure to show up real, hiding behind those fake offices and tropical scenes like no one notices. If you keep relying on digital backgrounds, people will stop trusting you before you even open your mouth. You won't land the biggest deals. You won't win new clients, and your boss and the board will not be impressed. Hi, I'm Catherine Janicek. I coach Fortune 500 leaders and companies so they show up as magnetic and inspirational to lead their teams and grow their companies. I also have 3 Emmys in television, so I'm a master at how this little screen works and how to look the best on it, on stages, in front of their teams, investors, and the board. Our firm is hired all the time by heads of communications and marketing departments who say, I'm too afraid to give my executive team this advice. This is why they hire us. We give the leadership team executive presence, magnetism, and help them become more influential. We're the ones who deliver the news that pieces of the executive team are missing when they show up in a town hall or in an all-hands meeting, and we fix it. We're always told by the CEO, no one's ever told me this. Because guess what? Everyone's too afraid to tell you. They're afraid to give you that advice. First tip, lose the background completely. No more digital backgrounds. When you have a bad online background, it's gonna make you look terrible. You're gonna be missing fingers. You're gonna be missing chunks of hair. You're going to miss your head once in a while. If you move your hand or anything here, it's gonna disappear. So just lose the background completely. What happens is you think that it's gonna work great, but you're not a TV studio. You don't have a TV studio in your office. In the TV world, they have digital backgrounds. The meteorologist is delivering you the weather on a green screen, and they're putting in that digital background, just like you're trying to do from your office. But you don't have a complete TV crew. You don't have a director. You don't have this professional, amazing lighting that they're perfecting for you every time you go into a meeting. You also don't have a director keying this perfectly so you don't lose a finger. You don't lose a chunk of your hair. You don't lose your nose when you turn, whatever it is. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I know that people are noticing this, that you're losing chunks of your body when you're in these meetings. Also, I know from just human nature, it doesn't make you feel great either because you're on those, you can see yourself, and every time you lose a hand or a finger, I know it doesn't make you feel great, right? Another thing that's really important to remember is that you're supposed to make the client, the customer, whoever is watching that online meeting video, you want them to feel like you're being transparent and real, that you're genuine. And an online digital background isn't genuine. That's not real. So people are going to feel much more confident in you when you are not using a digital background, and you're going to feel much more confident. I'm going to tell you that we're in there inside companies changing this out, making people's offices look better, and so they can lose that digital background, and that is becoming more of the industry norm, not that digital background that we really saw pop up before 2020, but then also obviously like during 2020. Crazy. Everyone was using it because people left their offices and they're working from home, but really it's going to be much better if you don't use that digital background. By the way, if you want a list of all the things you need to remember before you go into any online meeting or call, there's a link in the description below. Click on it and get our free PDF. Now, what should be in your background? Because you've just lost that digital background. What should be there? First is you want things simple, not too loud. The focus should be on you and your message. I want people just focusing on you. So go through your office, whether it's your home office or your office somewhere else, and I want to make sure that you just look at what is distracting? What could be distracting to your audience, to that customer, to your employees, to the board, whoever you're presenting to. I want to make sure people are only focused on you and not something else that could be distracting. So I'm going to walk around a little bit here in my office, okay? I'm going to show you what could be distracting. So you want to look back at whatever's behind you. If there's anything that is too distracting, is if it's something that's catching light. Maybe you're facing a window and you have a frame that's catching light and creating some kind of distraction to the audience. You want to move that out. I actually sometimes go in and I take people's glass off of the frames if they have certificates or something that they want to show. You move that out or you change the glass out so it's not catching the light and distracting people. You want things that maybe say something that are, symbolic to you, but not too distracting where they're just staring at that or trying to read too much and they're not focusing on you. So things that are very simple, not too loud. Also, maybe you stay away from things that could be too political. If you are in a business where things should stay apolitical, you should stay pretty grounded where you're not one side or the other, something like that. You want to see if you can take things out that might be saying something that might be frustrating to your audience. So again, anything that can be distracting to your message or not help you land a deal, take it out completely. Another big thing to be super cognizant of when we're talking about backgrounds in an office, your home office, wherever, is the distance between you and the wall behind you. We coach a lot of people who are at big cities. They live in really, really small apartments or condos, or they have small offices. And you want to make sure that you pull yourself away from being right up against that wall. You want to have some kind of depth between you and the wall behind you. If you're right up against a wall, it may make you look like you're being interrogated. And you're not being interrogated. You are leading a meeting, or you're giving your expertise in a meeting or a call or a town hall or whatever it is. You want to make sure you're not in trouble. Instead, you are front and center as the expert. You're dynamic, you're inspirational, you are magnetic. No right up against the wall, okay? So make sure there's some space. You can cheat that if you have an issue where you need to be right up against the wall. You just only have a small space. You can throw up some light behind you. There's all kinds of lamps you can put at the bottom, so just creating some kind of depth of field. But you want to make sure there's some kind of distance between you and the wall behind you. Colors in your background. This is very important. I want to make sure, again, you're not distracting and you don't blend in. So just like when we coach clients when they are on stages and they are speaking at a conference, and you know that the background is going to be black or dark navy or something, you don't want to wear a black jacket or dark navy. You'll blend right in and you'll just be this face floating. So think about colors that will be less distracting, or colors that will make sure that your message pops. I'm going to give you an example. I chose this cream jacket specifically for this YouTube video because one is that I feel like cream is not a trendy color. It's going to last. It's something that you see in fashion for a very long time. And this YouTube video, I hope, serves people for a very long time, years and years to come. So I wanted to make sure I looked at that. And also I want to make sure I kind of just pop, but also not too distracting. I wanted my message to be the thing that you remember. My face, my eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and I want to make sure you're focusing here instead of some jacket I have on. I'm not wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt, or I'm not wearing something that's got my favorite team on, or whatever it is. I want to make sure that you're focused on me and my message and not what I'm wearing. So I chose this specifically to make sure that it's one, timeless, and then also it's not distracting. You're not focused on this and not my message. All right, we get this question all the time. What about if my job requires some kind of branded office background, some digital background for me, and encourages me to use it? This happens all the time. We have definitely been inside of Fortune 500 companies where they require some kind of digital background with the logo. One, we talk to the executives in the team. We explain why this is actually hurting them and not helping them. We make a point that this digital background makes their experts look non-expert like. So it's one, you might want to talk about it. Share this video. Explain this might actually be hurting us and not helping us. And then if that does not work, which I promise if you make a really good case for this and explain the why behind it, it will work. If that doesn't work, I would make sure that you have great lighting. So that digital background works a little bit better. It's very non-distracting. It's just one color, it's a slide. What you don't want is like the tropical background where we see the palm trees waving. Whatever someone is gonna be focused on, you wanna take that out. I want them to be only focused on you. So stick with something very simple, and then also make sure you're not moving too much, because when you move, your fingers are going to start disappearing. So you're gonna have to be very still and focused. And that takes honestly, a lot of concentration. And you want the concentration to be on the conversation you're having with that client, team member, employee, whoever it is. You wanna be super focused on them and solving problems and not going, don't move, don't move. I don't want my digital background to cut me off. See the point? So share this YouTube video with your boss. Great. We got rid of that awful digital background. Now, in this next video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about owning your executive presence on camera so you can transform into a more magnetic and influential leader and make other people more confident in you and your company. I'll see you over there.